When we have ceramic projects for school, one of the most important things is to wrap them up really well so they don't dry out. But if you don't wrap them at all, they still can get dry out and crumble all your hard work up. Make sure you remember to wrap your clay projects up so they don't dry out. Hi everybody, it's Mena. Welcome back to my channel, or if this is the very first video that you're seeing of me, then welcome to my channel. Please be sure to hit that subscribe button down below if you did not already. I post every day except for Tuesday and Friday afternoon sometimes, and today in this video, I'm going to tell you guys another story. Yes, another story time, but you guys seem to really like these story times, and I like telling them to you guys too. So I want to make a really fun story time about the time one of my classmates accidentally forgot to wrap up her project, and her entire project she worked super hard on ended up falling apart. So this is a story just to teach you guys, when you're doing a project for a ceramics class, make sure you wrap up the clay so it doesn't get dried out and completely fall apart, because then you'll have to start your whole project over, which is kind of a pain. So I'm going to get started, and I hope you guys enjoy the video. And because I won't be using names for safety purposes, I'm going to give this girl a name and call her Tile, because she made a tile and it fell apart. So this all started about 13 years ago. I was a senior in high school, and I was taking the ceramics class. And our first project we had to do was a tile, and we could draw whatever we wanted on the specific tile that we were doing. And I'll show you guys a picture. I'll insert a picture of my tile that I made from high school, and I will insert it right now. So basically we made these tiles. It was our first project for the class, and we could draw like whatever we want. Like I said, I chose to do my cats, Keely and Smokey, that I had a couple years ago. And so we had to do like simple projects. This girl decided to do this like really cool like maze thing. It looked almost like a maze, and it was like kind of like a swirl and like all a rectangular thing. I'm going to call her Tile, T-I-L-E, because she made a tile, and she had worked really hard on it, and she was really excited. And so the end of class comes, and she forgets to, we all wrap up our clay so it doesn't dry out, because we have to wrap our clay up when we do our projects, because we didn't want it to dry out. So the very next day when we go, I think it's the very next day or the day after, because my class on Wednesdays had a short day, which was the even day, which was we go to classes 1, class 2, class 4, class 6. And so those are the even days. I know it sounds kind of weird. And then we would have odd days, which were, you would have to go to periods 1, period 3, period 5, and period 7, depending if you had 7 classes. So everything all depended on what you had for class. So anyway, this one girl who had, when we get to our class, like whatever day we had the class, we all start pulling out our tiles, and this one girl, who I'm going to name Tile just because she was working on her tile, and she grabs her tile. Her tile is all like powdery and doesn't look very sturdy. And it turned out that she had forgotten to wrap the clay up. And so when she picked up her project, her whole entire project crumbled onto the table. And she kind of starts laughing about it, because she thought it was funny that she forgot to wrap it. But I felt kind of bad for her, because I could tell she worked really hard on this project. So when my teacher saw this, she wasn't too happy, and then she had to give Tile, yeah, I'm going to name her Tile in this video, Tile another one, and she had told her to do a simpler project because her maze one project was too difficult, it looked like to her. So she gave her another tile, and she had to get it done in a couple days because the project, I think, was due in like 2 or 3 days. So she started to do the project, and then this time after class was over, she remembered to wrap it up really well so then it didn't fall apart like her last one did, and she didn't want that to happen, which I thought was a good thing, because it sucks when you work really hard on something and your project just ends up a mess, because it ends up like breaking and stuff because you don't take care of it. So the moral of the story is when you're working on a project, like you're working with clay and stuff, please make sure you remember to wrap it up so your whole project doesn't end up like falling apart so easily and dried up that it falls apart. Just keep in mind that when you're working with clay, you have to wrap it up in order for it to stay moist. Don't just like leave it unwrapped, because if you forget to wrap it, your entire project that you worked really hard on will end up falling apart. So just keep in mind that when you're working with clay, you should always wrap it up when you're done. You remember to wrap it up when you're done working with it, so then it doesn't dry out and then fall apart. So that was the story about how one of my classmates ended up losing her entire tile because she forgot to wrap it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope this taught you how to take good care of your school projects and to make sure you keep them in a safe place. And then if they need to be wrapped, you need to wrap them up so then they don't completely dry out and then just fall apart. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. I post every day except for Tuesday and Friday afternoon sometimes, and I'll see you in another video soon. Bye. If you enjoyed this video, then go ahead and give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel.